And it says you are live. I love to see that. That means it's working. Welcome. Yes, yes. Welcome everyone to the Neil's Appeal podcast show, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, long as you grow from it. We have the Butlers in the house.
Yes.
And we are just so thankful. Sorry, we just getting on. It's always something. It has always been something for the longest. Trying to get logged on and everything. My computer went out on me the last minute, but hey, nevertheless, we are here. So again, welcome to the Neil's Appeal, where we talk about marriage, relationships, and other stuff. We have with us today the Butlers.
Yes.
We're going to let them share their story. Fred, you want to say anything before we?
No, I just want to add a few words. I mean, it's just so good to see. I mean, after seeing Sister Butler after all these years, I mean, when we previewed you guys the other night, I saw the smile on her face and how you guys were cut up together, and it just filled my heart with joy to know that. And I don't even want to, get too emotional, what have you, but it was just a blessing. And I know she made her match by meeting Brother Butler, because he has a smile on her face, and she's her old self again, and she's about as real as they can get, Doc. She groove off, so don't cross it the wrong way. She's good people. She's real people. She's eloquent. And she's all those things. She's your Ruth, and she's found her Boaz. For lack of a better term.
starting already.
I love it. So yeah, I mean, if I don't say anything else tonight, man, you guys are amazing. I just hope I'm half as successful as you guys are, and then half as happy as you guys seem to be. So
Yeah.
bless you guys.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
So let's jump right into it. We got a lot to share. You all are closing out the Widows series. I know y'all been watching before. We appreciate your support. As I said, we talk about marriage relationships and other stuff. In relationships, we cannot forget about our widows and our widowers. You know, you all were once married as well too, and you have some insight and knowledge you can share. And just around the holiday season, in any special date, it's always, you know, going to cross your mind. It never leaves your mind, you know, when you have a loss or whatever. And so I've been like just totally like, okay, Lord, what are we doing next? Who are we doing next? And he just gave me that, and I called everyone that I called, and they answered to the call. So I'm so thankful, because I'm just the Lord is downloading this to me, and I'm just getting on the phone saying, okay, Lord, all right, I'm gonna call, I'm gonna see. I don't know, you know, but I am so appreciative, and I believe that you all will give some couples, some widows, some widowers, like I think you will give some hope and show some hope, because there are a lot of people, as you saw on the previous interviews that we've done, they're not even touching love again, thinking about love again. And so I just wanted you all to close out the Widow series, where we could show that, like we said, from grief to grace, right? And so we want y'all to go ahead on. Somebody started off. Tell us how you met. We don't have. We listen, y'all. We normally start off with the little couples question game, but y'all so new, fresh. Y'all, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Come on, let's just jump right on into it.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
how did y'all meet?
we met at the National Lectureship. And I have been a widow for 10 years. And Theo, you have been a widow 14 years. And it's so interesting. I met my first husband at a youth conference and met Theo at a lectureship. So it's just interesting how that happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's, before we get into how y'all met, I want to briefly just talk about your deceased spouses. Like, you know, give us that first, and then y'all can go into your story. Like you said, you've been a widow for 10 years.
Yeah.
TB has been a widower for 14. So y'all tell us just a little bit. We want to also include their memory in on this as well.
Okay. I was married to Dr. Jerome Adams. I met him at a youth conference when I was 18 years old, and we got married in 1974. We have 3 beautiful children and 8 grandchildren. He was an elder at Westmoreland Church of Christ and Southside Church of Christ, where Wesley Leonard is. That's our home congregation. And Jerry passed away in 2014 from the early onset of Alzheimer's.
He was pretty young. You were pretty young.
Yeah, he was 57 and I was 50.
I met Barbara. I played basketball in high school. Barbara was a cheerleader for the other team. I was playing basketball against her brother at the time. He won the game. And after that, I said, okay, you won the game, but you have a sister there that maybe I can win the game. But by dating your sister. So we got married in 1971. We have we have we have one child and one grandchild, Sonia, and the grandchild is Isabella. We call her Bella. Uh, I serve as a deacon at the church Hillcrest, where Brother Barclay is a minister.
Was minister.
Was minister. He was at Hillcrest. Now he's at Stonecrest.
Yeah.
So that's how we met. I'm a pharmacist, and Barbara was a physical ed instructor.
Wow. So for 14 years. Wow. So what did you ever think you were going to remarry again?
Well, I knew I was going to remarry. I just, then as a leader, being the leader in the church, it was hard for me to initially begin to date. I would, one of the things that we did in our hometown every year, Memorial Day was a day that everybody would go to the gravesite, put flowers on their deceased widow spouse. I did that for at least 6 years. And after that, I began to not have the same, what do I want to say, same approach as I did before. So I felt at that time I began to date, but not anything serious, because one of the things, dating someone from the church was not one of the things that I wanted to pursue, because the thing about dating someone at the church, if it does not work out right, being a leader, it does not, you can be embarrassed. So it comes with a lot of baggage if you're trying to date the church, you know.
Yeah. I didn't think I would ever get married again.
Really?
I knew I wanted to. I just thought I would not. Yeah.
Why?
I just thought, who wants an old lady?
Aww.
Me. Me.
Wow. Let me tell you, Brother TB, I didn't know Sister Barbara, but we did know Doc, right? And it was so devastating, right? And Nene, she's so funny. She's a ball of joy. You see for yourself.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
So when he first passed away, it was just like, oh my goodness, like she said, 57. I'm 50. Fred is 53.
Yeah.
That's young. And so
yes.
You never are expecting for that to happen. And so I always thought she was a gorgeous woman, carry herself just so well. And I always just could see her remarrying again, just hoping. But she was so she was so downtrodden and distraught about it, and just hurt. It almost just make your heart pour out, to see her come in by herself when it used to didn't be that way. You know what I'm saying? And so I am so happy that she gave love a chance again.
You know, as I am.
What do you say? What did you say, Brother Theo?
You're not as happy as I am.
I'm so happy that she gave love a chance again. and
Because
you
you know,
two met.
Jerry was very unique. You know, he
Very.
was that very unique person, that quiet person that just went, you know, along his day, you know, and did what he had to do, loved the Lord, you know, was faithful. I remember people said he used to come to church with his scrubs underneath his suit because he didn't want to miss service and everything. And so it was very hard. I'm sure it was for Theo too, you know, to
Right.
now go to church and you don't have your spouse with you.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You know, that was so difficult. That was very difficult.
So give us the version. You met at the lectureship.
Yes.
Okay. You wasn't in
She
your
had to tell the
Bible.
whole story now. Let her tell the whole story.
Come on, give it to us.
Yeah. Okay, so we got in 22, the national lectureship was in Orlando.
Uh-huh.
It was delayed because of COVID. And
Mhm.
so we were both at the lectureship, did not know each other. I had never seen Theo before. I'm sure he hadn't seen me either. And so we were in the ballroom for the ladies' session that day. And when the session was over, I was sitting ahead of Sister Barclay, Shirley Barclay. So I turned around and I saw Sister Barclay, and I thought, oh, there's Shirley. I should go over and say hello. And then I thought, oh no, don't bother her. She's so popular. All the ladies are gonna say hello to her. Just leave her alone, you know, don't bother with her. And I literally felt myself getting up, walking towards her. And I'm saying to myself, I thought I wasn't going over to say hello to her. So I go over and she is sitting in the first row where they divide the sessions off.
Mhm.
So as soon as I sat down, like a minute later, Theo walks by. And he and Sister Barclay say something to each other and they laugh. I glance him, he glanced me, he keeps walking down the aisle. So Sister Barclay says, that's a good man, Linda. That's
Amen.
a that's a good
Amen.
man, Linda. And I go, really? And she goes, yeah, that's a good man. She said he's a widower. His wife passed away. And I said, oh, really? And she said, yeah. So he walks down front and he sits down. I go back to my seat and he wasn't even on the program, he said, to pray. And I think it was Wesley who asked him to do the prayer.
Mhm.
So I'm sitting there and I look up and I go, hey, that's that guy. He's praying. He knows how to pray. Oh my God. He knows how to pray.
She wasn't listening to the prayer.
Yes.
No. She wasn't listening to. She didn't hear a word I said.
I heard bits and pieces. What the main thing was, I said to myself, oh my gosh, he's praying. And so then when that was over, they broke us into the groups, and he and I both went to the widows class, the widow and widowers class, and he was sitting behind me. And I thought, oh my gosh, that guy is sitting behind me. But there was a lady on the other side, and she kept talking. She kept talking. I said, okay, she's going to get his attention. And tomorrow I'll see them walking down the hallway holding hands.
She sit right in front of me. She had this black and white polka dot dress on.
Oh, he remember.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
So at the lectureship,
Yes.
you met.
We met.
And so
We
okay,
glanced at each
pick
other.
back up. You say you what? I'm sorry.
We briefly glanced each other.
Mhm.
At the
Okay, so
yeah.
so take us from there because okay, you saw him, you wasn't even listening to the prayer. And come take us to the phone call. What? I mean, come on, give it to us.
Okay, so Sister Barclay said that they would go out to dinner. You know,
yeah.
Richard and Theo are best friends.
Okay.
So they would go out to eat once a month. And he said every time they would go, Sister Barclay would be saying, Linda, 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 Linda. And he said, well, give me her phone number. Get her phone number. So Sister Barclay said she would forget because Theo worked in a different city and he commuted back and forth. So he was only there every other week. So she would forget to get the phone number. So finally, she called Pam Leonard and she said, listen, I need Linda's phone number. I cannot go to church tomorrow without her phone number because Theo he's gonna be upset with me. So Pam tagged me into the phone call and she said, Linda, listen, I need your phone number. Theo wants your phone number. Are you talking to anyone? I told him, Linda probably talking to someone. I said, no. And so she said, well, he wants your phone number. I said, sure. So I give Sister Barclay my phone number and I said, if he calls, it'll probably be 2 or 3 months from now. So that was on a Saturday, March 4th. So that Sunday, March 5th at 6:30, my phone rang. It was Theo. And we talked about 2 hours
She
over
hasn't
the
been the
phone.
same since.
Stop. We talked for about 2 hours. And then the next morning, he called me before he went to work. I thought, oh my gosh. Then he called me when he got home from work. And from that day on, he called me every morning before work and every evening after work. He never missed a day. And I got roses every other week.
Mercy.
He sent me roses. He was serious and he was just as sweet as he could be.
That's so sweet, baby.
What was the point? When did you realize, we ain't just doing Bible class and stuff? Like, did you realize that Linda's dating again? Or when was that moment point? That, oh my goodness, is this my boyfriend? Or what,
when did you realize? When did you realize it, babe? Let's see if we realized it at the same time. When did you realize it?
Well, when we made the initial that we was going to meet, and at that time I knew that it was serious, once we made the appointment that we were going to meet at in Orlando, and you made the reservation for me for the hotel and everything, and it went from there.
Yeah, we had been talking for 2 weeks, and Theo goes, I want to come to Orlando to see you. I thought, what? Oh gosh. Oh, okay. Can I get back with you? I said, can I think about it for a little while and get back with? Because we had only been talking on the phone for 2 weeks, and I'm thinking, oh God, this man want to come see me? So I said, can I think about it? He said, sure, think about it.
She come in an hour.
And I did.
Wow.
My version.
I did not call him in no hour. Stop it. So a couple days out, he called me a couple days. I still hadn't said anything. So finally he said, what did you decide? And I said, okay, you can come, but under certain conditions. I said, I don't want anyone to know you are coming. I'm not going to tell anyone. I don't want you to tell anyone because I didn't want the pressure my friends being all excited for me and oh, he's good, he's nice, he's this, and really I'm thinking, he's not the one, and I knew Shirley and Richard would be excited. How did it go? How did it go? And so I say, let's meet and not let anyone know. That way, if it doesn't go well, we'll just say we just never met up.
I know it was going to go well.
No, he didn't. So he told me when he was coming, asked me to find a hotel for him. He told me how to plan the weekend. He wanted to go to a nice restaurant. He wanted to go to the beach. He wanted to go have massages. He told me everything to do. And so I did all of that. And then that Sunday when it was time to go to church, I said, now listen, you're not coming to Southside with me. You're not walking there with me. And everybody looking at Sister Adams go, ooh, Sister Adams got to
look at that man walking down that aisle.
No. You going somewhere else this morning, me. Because this may not work. I don't know. So I sent him over to Midtown with Brother D.C. Washington. And so he worshiped over there, and then we met for lunch after services. And, and just talking, and he was so nice. He was so sweet. I remember the night we met at the restaurant. That was our first date, the restaurant that night, that Friday night. And he gets there, and this tall, dark, good-looking man is walking in because they had already seated me because he was late. And I thought, oh my gosh, there he is. There he is. And everyone is watching him. And he comes in with flowers and everything. And we had dinner. He was so easy to talk with and everything. And I remember when we were leaving, and it was the little things. And we were walking out of the restaurant, and we were in the back of the restaurant, and he asked me, he said, may I hold your hand? And I thought, oh my gosh. I said, sure. And he held my hand.
She was just melting in my hand.
I'm going to push him off the screen for just a minute. So we walk out of the restaurant, and then we go to my car. He walks me to my car, and he says, may I kiss you goodnight? And I said, sure. And he kissed me on my cheek. And he said, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And she didn't watch it out for a week. This man's ego is so big. And he is just so sweet. He is just so kind. And that meant a lot to me. That meant a lot to me.
So, question. Did you feel any guilt, right? Because we saw you. We know how hurt and sad you were when Doc passed away, right? And, we've talked about, even what you hear some things about what the widows were saying about how they wanted to go be with their spouses, and you could understand and relate to that.
Yes.
Just the whole being together for so long, and then y'all crazy. You were like, we're not crazy. It's just the mindset. Even the widowers said that these thoughts come through. Like, how can I, trying to be with them.
One day I was at your hair salon. You were doing my hair, and Wesley came to the hair salon. And it was like I was losing my mind because I wanted to know, where is he? I asked Wesley, does he know he's dead? I wanted to know for some reason, I didn't want Jerry to know he was dead. And I don't know why. I don't know why. But I remember Wesley came to the shop that day, and I said to Wesley, I said, I just want Jerry to know that I'm dead too. If I could just die, so that he would know that I'm dead too. And I remember the look on Wesley's face, and he caught me by my shoulder and he said, Sister Adams, listen to me and listen to me well. No matter when you die, Doc is not going to know you're dead. So stop it. Stop it.
Mhm.
And I say, but Wesley, some kind of way he has to know that I'm dead too. Because I just thought that would be comfort for him,
Mhm.
in my feeble way
Mhm.
of thinking.
Mhm.
And I don't know what I was going to do to get there, but it was just a comfort for me for him to know that I was dead too.
So I don't know if you saw the episode when we had Brother B and Sister Ira on, and his wife, um Sister Vanessa, passed away giving birth to their child. And Sister Ira talks about the struggles of, the families not understanding, her
Mhm.
role, their agreement to go get married. The story, they got married really, really early, and people
Mhm.
disagreed with that and didn't like that. And she said it
Mhm.
wasn't until she saw that show on Oprah where the mother-in-law, so this happened, the mother lost her daughter, and
Mhm.
son-in-law got remarried again. And Oprah's question was, what is your thing? Why are you so upset? And the mother's response was, I don't get to get a new daughter. Why does he get to get a new wife? Right. And
Yeah.
so she
Yeah.
was like, at that point, she understood it wasn't her that didn't like, it was the situation or whatever. And so my question that I want to know, is there any guilt between either of you? Did you feel guilty because you found love again? Right. And it's
Mhm.
not with your deceased spouses, like
Mhm.
they're passed on. Like,
Mhm.
was there guilt? Is it something? What is it? Did you feel apprehensive? Like,
Mhm.
what was that initial tug or challenge at first about moving forward,
Well,
or
initially,
feeling some kind of way about moving forward?
Mhm.
uh, Barbara passed away, and she had hypertension and lupus. I did everything I could for her while she was alive. So I didn't have guilt after she passed away because I
Mhm.
felt like under God's eyes, I did everything for her.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I was at church one Sunday, and one of the sisters came over to me and asked me, "Am I ready to date?" Um, and at that time, I was not ready to date, and I didn't even answer her question.
Mm.
Uh, I think by the look on my face, she got the answer that she was looking
Mhm.
for. I did not
Mhm.
yet. But so then they went to Brother Barclay and asked Brother Barclay, uh, is Brother Butler ready to date? And he said, Brother Butler is sitting right over there where he always sit. You need to ask Brother Butler. You so that's where I began after that initial.
I think right after Jerry died, no. Um, I think I probably would have if it would have been right away.
Mhm.
Because for me, I thought about more than Jerry. I had three children
Mhm.
and
Right.
I had three grandchildren. I mean, eight grandchildren. And for me, it was important that my kids and my grandkids knew that I hadn't forgotten about Jerry,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so I kept thinking, I got to make sure they're okay.
Mhm.
And I got to make sure I'm okay. And I think that's a process. At least it was for me. It was a process and it takes time. You really have to navigate yourself, through that situation. And because for me it had been 10 years, I had gotten to the point where I had said, okay, my kids are grown, you know, they have their spouses, my grandkids are older now. I'm at a point where I can do whatever I want to do, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and not feel guilty about it for myself or be concerned about what they think. Surely, yes, I was concerned about what they thought, but I knew I had a right under God's law to live my life again.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that Barbara did, because she knows she was passing, she had a conversation with Sonia, who's my daughter, and she wanted me to remarry. Uh, and in fact, she even told me that she wanted me to remarry. Barbara was at a point that she was ready to go. And
Mm.
because she was ready to go, she had made a decision, having conversation with people who, the pool guy, the insurance guy, uh, and she had a conversation with them uh, that she was ready to go. So she was ready to go. I wasn't
Mm.
ready for her to go,
Yeah.
but she was ready to go. And during that
Mm-hmm.
conversation with Sonia, she told Sonia who I could not marry. There were certain people in church. She said, he can't marry this person, he can't marry this person, but I want him to be happy. And I want not only him to be happy, I want you to love his family.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah. And see, for
Wow.
me, Jerry had early onset of Alzheimer's. And 2 years after that, he lost his ability to speak. He
Mm.
didn't
Mm.
talk. Yeah. And so Jerry, and I think maybe that was part of it. People would say, "Oh, Brother Adams would want you to go on," and I thought, "How you know? Because I don't know. He didn't tell me."
Yeah.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
he didn't tell me that. We didn't have the opportunity to have that conversation. That's probably a conversation you should have right now, you know, with
Mm-hmm.
you and Fred. You know, what does the future look like if I'm not here? This is what I want for you. And Jerry and I weren't blessed to have had that conversation. And I'm sure he probably would have, but he and I just never talked about it.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it.
So speaking of family and community and perspectives of, you know, your family community, how, were your families okay, brother? Maybe you said your daughter, they actually had the conversation, but how about you, Nene? Was the family, was everyone okay? Was some, there's still, because
No,
again you said you had
everyone wasn't okay. They at first they weren't okay, and I think it was maybe the shock of it all. You know, mom is mom. Mom has been here and everything. And when I initially told them, you know, some were happy, some were not happy. But the blessing of it all, and I remember telling Theo, I said, I don't think I'm gonna go through with this. And he said to me, Linda, I'm not marrying your kids.
Mm.
mm,
I'm marrying you.
Mm.
And it's going to be all right. He always had faith that it was going to be all right. And I said, okay. But God is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
He and my three kids now are friends.
That's
You
good.
know, whenever I talk to them on the phone, how's Mr. Theo? Tell Mr. Theo I said hello. But Theo and a friend came to get my belongings to bring them to Loganville. And so our youngest son, who is my, helped me do things all the time around the house. So that morning I said to him, I said, I need to go get a U-Haul. And he said, "Oh, okay." So he goes with me to get the U-Haul. Well, so while I'm paying for getting the U-Haul, he says to me, "Why are you getting this U-Haul?" And I said, "Theotus and Quint are coming to get my belongings." He said, "What?" I said, Theo and Quinn are coming today to get my belongings and take them back. So we get the truck, we go back to where I live, and he goes, Mom, I'm going home to change my clothes, get something to eat, and I'm coming back. Mr. Theo is too old to pack that truck by
I'm not too
himself.
old.
Mr. Theo has no business lifting those boxes and packing that truck. And I thought, huh? And he came back. He would not let Theo lift a box onto that
Wow.
truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would not let him lift a box onto that truck. And he
Wow.
said, Mom, if you would have told me, I would have done this, driven the truck back. He didn't even have to come. I would have
Wow.
done it. And I said,
Wow.
I think that was a part of Theo's, I'm going to get my wife. I'm going to get
Right.
my fiance and
Right.
move her here. He wanted to do that. That's a part of who
Right.
he is,
Yeah.
know.
A real man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
This man is
Oh man.
this man right here is he is amazing. He opens my car every time I get in the car. He opens my car door. He closes my car door. Like now it's winter time. If we're going somewhere, he will go out and warm the car up so the car is warm. When I get in the car, he will come home. We will get back home. He will come in first, make sure the heat is on, come back and get me, help me in the house. He is such a gentleman, such
Mercy.
kind,
He
sweet.
he making he's
It's a
making
lot of pressure.
he make,
Lot of pressure.
yeah.
Lot of pressure, TB.
Yes, he is.
Lot of pressure.
Yeah, he is just so easygoing, so laid back. Babe, what you want for dinner? Whatever you want. Babe, where are we going after services today for dinner? Wherever you want to go. And
Mm.
sometimes I say, will you make a decision, please? Please tell me what you want. Because I want to make sure you're happy too. So,
Wow.
Just being with her, maybe.
oh, sweetie, that's so sweet. But
Pressure.
yeah.
Oh, stop it.
Pressure.
Yeah, I mean, God was in this plan.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done this on my own.
Mm.
I could not have foreseen myself with Theo. God was definitely here for this relationship.
Wow.
Amen.
Yeah.
So no fears or reservations.
Not after I met him and time had passed.
When she
And I
saw me
think,
walking down the aisle, after that.
yeah. Now he has a walk that will knock your socks off. He's 6'4", and he has this swag about him. And I told
Old school.
Shirley, I said, yeah. I said, the spiritual version is, yeah, I heard him pray. I say, but the female version is, I saw that chocolate Negro walking down that aisle. And I thought, woo!
Ah.
Yeah.
He had on wide legs swinging, huh?
Oh my goodness, with that one hand in his pocket, and he just walked. Oh my God.
It's a killer.
You know it too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's very sure of himself.
When he played basketball, I said, "Yep, that
Oh
does
yeah.
it. That does it right there."
Yes.
So tell us about the friends. So we know your friends. The story you told about.
Okay.
They were
So they
standing.
all thought, yeah. So remember I told you we had seen each other before, and no one knew Theo had come to town. So they thought our first meeting was, he had said to Shirley Barclay, when Linda come for the retreat, remember at April, the latest retreat was in Atlanta.
Mhm.
So he had told Sister Barclay, when Linda comes in April, I'm going to ask her to go out to dinner.
Mhm.
And so I had told my crew, Pam, Leonard, Betty, all of them, that Theo and I were going out to dinner. So they're all thinking this is our first time, seeing each other. And so Theo is going to pick me up from the hotel where the retreat is. So all of my friends, about 8 of them, along with Debbie Houston, knew that Theo was coming to pick me up. So we're walking outside of the hotel to wait for Theo to drive up. So someone stops me and begin to talk to me, but the other ladies go outside. All of a sudden they come running in. He's outside. He's outside, because I had told them what type of car. They say, what kind of car? And I told them. And so they said, Linda, he's outside. He's outside. So they all go up and they're standing outside. And he gets out the car and he walks up with that suave walk that he has. And Debbie goes, look at that walk, girl. You know I know the walk because I'm from New York. I know a suave man. Look at it. Look at it. So he walks up and they all are circled around us. We're standing in the middle and they're asking him questions. Where are you going? What time she's going to be back? Let's get his tag number. I mean, they were doing the whole 9 yards on him that day. And so I said, okay. I said, we're going to go. So he walks over to the car. He opens the car door. They go, look, he opened the car door for her. He opened the car door for her. And I get in the car. They're taking pictures. We're waving. I said, I think we're going to the prom. We're going to the prom. They were so excited. They were so happy and so excited for me. They were just overwhelmed.
So we went to dinner, and that's where I was sitting down for dinner. I called Brother Barclay, and told him that we was at dinner. Told him where we was, and I said, well, after I'm going to take her by my tailor and let her pick out some shirts for me, And what he said?
He said, you just showing out. You just want to impress her. You trying to impress her. Now she going to your tailor to pick out fabric to have your shirts made? Negro. You trying to impress her. You trying to impress her. And I thought he did a good job. We have lunch, and then we go to his tailor, and the tailor comes out with these books, and I choose fabric, and he goes, babe, pick me out 3 new shirts, whatever you want. Pick out 3 new shirts. I chose the fabric. He got 3 new shirts tailored. I say, wow, that's wonderful. And then we had, when he would send me flowers, he would have TB on the card. So my grandchildren would say, Nene, who is TB? I said, I'm not going to tell you who it is, because we had just started dating. I said, I'm not going to tell you who it is. So they were trying to think of all of these names for TB. So they came up with Teddy Bear. And so he monogrammed his shirts, Teddy Bear.
Listen, y'all are absolutely adorable. I remember for homecoming, we were in town at Southside for homecoming, and your grandson got baptized.
Yeah.
And he got up and he went to the back alongside with him. I was like, that is so sweet. Like, it's good to see the family, the community, your community of friends, y'all all love and accept. That just makes it easier. But like he said, he was marrying you anyway, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, I think my kids saw that in such a short period of time. They saw that Theo loved me. And they were afraid because, I was moving away. I wasn't staying in Orlando. And one of their concerns and his daughter's concern was, if something would happen to him, if something would happen to me, is the other spouse going to call them, and say, your mother is sick, or am I going to call Sonia and say your father is sick, or are we just going to feel like because I'm the spouse, I make all the decisions and leave them out? And so we both told our children we would never do that. I will never make a medical decision for Theo without Sonia, because I would never want to have that responsibility. God forbid if something would happen to him. I would not want that. When Jerry was ill, I included our children in every decision because I wanted them to be a part of their father's care. And so Theo has promised my kids, no, if anything ever happens to your mom, y'all are going to be the first ones I call, because he doesn't want that responsibility of having to face the kids, God forbid if something happens. So that was a good feeling for them to know that, we're not leaving them out. Yes, we're together, but we're not leaving y'all out.
And they all was here for Christmas.
Yeah, they were all
that's
here for
good.
Christmas.
Oh.
I told Theo, I said, you're going to see what it feels like to really be a daddy and a granddaddy. He has one daughter, one grandchild. I have 3 children, 8 grandchildren. So I said, you're gonna see what it really feels like now,
Right.
And he was so loving and so kind and so sweet. And they like him. Mr. Theo, and so that makes me feel so good.
They love me, baby.
They love you, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, he said they love him. Oh, but he thinks everybody loves him. So, but anyway.
We passed our light.
We passed the light.
This is such a joy to see. So I got just a couple more questions. Then I want you to share something with the widows. And Brother TB, you share something for the widows, or both of you, to give, some hope, right? So how do you talked about the grandkids, and how do you navigate the balance between still honoring your late spouses, but still keeping your hearts open for each other? What are you doing to still honor them if there's
we're not afraid to talk about our spouses to each other. Some people think, that would be intimidating. Does that mean you love him or her more than you love me now? That kind of thing. No, it means that he had a past before me. I had a past before him. And that past, God decided that past was over. But in death, it's not like divorce. Most people, when they get a divorce, you're not in love anymore, and
That's
you're
right.
going away. With death, you are still in love with that person.
That's right.
The love I have for Jerry and the love he has for Barbara, there's a portion of that love that is still there. I don't want him to lose that. And he doesn't want that to be lost for me, because we have children that was their parent. I don't want him to be afraid to talk about Barbara. He doesn't want me to be afraid to talk about Jerry. And so what we have done is we have kept pictures up. We have a picture in the hallway of each family, so that when our kids come, they can still see their parent. I don't want that to be wiped out. She was the mother of his daughter. Jerry was the father of my children. And when they come, I wanted them to see something that remind them that past is not gone.
And
wow.
And when Linda passed away, she's going to be buried next to Jerry. And when I pass away, I'm going to be buried next to Bob.
Yeah.
Person.
Yeah.
Mercy. That's a
We
mouthful
bought,
right
we
there for
bought the
those.
clocks already.
And they're not going to waste.
Yeah. And so he
Wow.
yeah, our names are on the other side just waiting for the date. And so he
Wow.
had all of those discussions,
Mm.
before we got married, how we would handle, certain things. And that was one of the things we talked about. He has a burial plot already, and so do I. Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Nothing but God. Nothing but God.
Yeah.
I think it's a seasoned God and both of you guys, what have you. So I mean, that can't even wouldn't be a conversation. I mean, divorce, widow, however you want to put it.
Yeah.
This would not even be a conversation with couples in you guys' predicament. So that's beautiful.
When bro, TV, when you said that, I picked up this phone to look at that chat because I just knew they was gonna be like, what? They just throwing hearts, like, because there's so much room for jealousy
Negativity.
Oh yeah.
and negativity. If you, even though they're both deceased,
Yeah.
you come in the house and one of y'all crying, and it'll be like, well, I'm here now with you. There is so much room for jealousy, but that, of course, for the person, I don't want to say immature, but just not quite there yet spiritually, where they understand, like you said, that was the past.
Yeah.
Still love, and I can have a moment of crying, of sadness, because that is still the father of my children, the mother of my child, and so that is honorable that y'all are going to be buried
With our
next
first spouses.
to.
Yeah. We're gonna be buried with our first spouses, and
I won't
neither
know
of us.
I won't know anything about it.
Yeah.
She won't know anything about it.
Dead knows nothing. And it's already paid for.
Oh wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so
Listen,
we're good. And Barbara was a beautiful part of his life, and he talks about her in such high esteem. So why would I have a problem with her? I never met her. He never met Jerry. And so I honor her because of the way he talks about her. And the love that I know he had for her, and vice versa.
I gotta get to this chat. I want to get to this chat, and then I'm gonna come back. I want y'all to say something for what? Why is this doing this? Why doesn't this stuff just work? Okay, let's start from the top. So we got Alexander said she better know the exact date and the time. That was when he said, I remember it was March, whatever. Becky Davis, hey, Beck.
Not to cut you off, but that's another thing. Theo called me March 5th, 2023, and we got married December 30th of 2000. We only dated 9 months.
Wow.
We only dated 9 months. Yeah.
I mean,
she came with good recommendation.
She
did.
Yeah, and I think that's why it worked for us. We had a baseline of trust to begin with because Shirley had introduced us. And so it wasn't like we met on the street or met, somewhere else, because we both loved and respect Shirley. And then she introduced us. We started out with a baseline of trust that probably some people may not have.
That's right.
And so I think that made a big difference for both of us.
And Wesley.
Wesley knew Theo too.
Yeah.
So tell us that quick, right? Wasn't it something about
Wesley knew Theo? In fact, this story is so sweet. When Theo decided that we were going to date, when we decided we were going to date, Theo called Wesley and asked Wesley did he have his permission to date me, because he knew I was one of Wesley's elders' wives, and he knew that Wesley had known him for over 20 something years. And so Wesley said to me, he said, you won't believe what Brother Butler did. He called and asked my permission to date you from a minister's point of view.
Wow.
Did he think I was worthy to date you, knowing
Wow.
who you are? And I said, are you kidding me? And he said, no. He said, that just goes to show you what type of man he is, Linda. It just shows you what type of man he is. And I thought, oh my gosh, that blew me away.
You were sold then.
Oh, wow. When I, yeah. And so Wesley knew him, Shirley knew him, Shirley knew me, you know. So we had a good baseline to start off with.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let me jump on this chat. So Tiffany Thompson says, wow, how awesome is that to communicate on that level? Talking about what you just was saying about the burial. And I could see sitting down having that conversation, because you don't know what the other person is about to say or whatever. And the fact that y'all are both on the same page with it. And like you said, plots already paid for it anyway. It was really easy, right? Jackie Alexander says, teach us, Butlers, authentic love. LaRonda Morrison Young says, love this, honoring of their loved ones. Michelle Walker Brown, hey Michelle, she said this episode needs to go viral. Ira Booker says, amen. We share our stories of our loves. I had some more, and I've started taking screenshots because sometimes I lose it for some reason. Ira Booker again says, beautiful love. Linda, you are forever beautiful. Jackie Alexander said, amen. He said, amen. Jackie Alexander says, I'm 50 now. Lord have mercy. Jackie, it's still hope for you, baby. It's still hope.
Yeah. And so many ladies come to me. And when I first got engaged, I was so overwhelmed with ladies, sisters coming to me saying, you give me hope. And I said to them, you know, one thing that happened to me, and I'll share this, and this may help someone else. There were times when I was single, when I got to the point when I said, I would like to get married again. If I said that, there were some people that would frown upon that. And why you want to get married again? And once I get free, if I ever get free, that I'm going to be done. Ain't no way I'll get married again. And I went through a phase where I knew I wanted to get married again, but I was afraid to say it, even among my Christian sisters, because some of them would act like I had lost my mind.
Right.
And so recently, a couple of weeks ago,
they didn't know Theo.
God.
They did not know Theo.
A couple of weeks ago, we had the singles come into the married class, and they were saying, some of the ladies were saying they wanted to get married again, and I made that statement, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, I am so glad you said that, because I feel the same way. I've been made to feel the same way." And I said, no, give God the desires of your heart. Don't worry about what other people think. If you have a desire to be married, give it to God. And just like God blessed me, he will bless someone else. I'm not the only one at this stage of life that is going to get remarried again. God answers prayers. We just have to be patient.
That's right.
Wow. Becky Davis says, Brother Butler is the GOAT.
You know, they teach our marriage class. Oh my God, we love him so much. We love our whole entire marriage class. They are the most wonderful couples. We look forward to them every Sunday morning. We have marriage class every Sunday morning for Sunday
Wow.
school. And
Wow.
they are amazing. And the Brooks, you know, Kelly and her
Yeah.
Mhm.
husband, yeah, and the Davises. And we are, it's an amazing class. We love them so
Wow.
much.
So
Yes.
what was it that Becky said?
You heard me.
And I deal with this every day, you know. And I'll say something to him, and he goes, "Linda, did you forget you're married to Theotus Butler? You're married to Theotus Butler." I said, "I keep forgetting. Oh, excuse me, I keep forgetting."
Ira Booker says, "I love their laughter, pure joy." Um, Tiffany Thompson, oh, she says not within the hour. That's when TB said, she called back in the hour. Tiffany said not within the hour.
And Theo can count on one hand how many times I have honestly called him, because I call a man. No, not me.
Listen, and I got two special ones I want to read because both of these young ladies are widows. Sister Minnie Daniels, you
Oh
know Sister
yeah, my
Minnie
sweetie.
Daniels. She said, "New beginnings, all right." So
Yeah, yeah,
that to me, that's encouraging to see
yeah.
someone. Her sister, she has not remarried yet. I don't even know if she's even thinking
Right.
about doing the
Yeah.
same. And then
Johnny
also,
and yeah, Johnny and Jerry died a couple of months apart, I believe.
Mhm.
yep,
Mhm.
Yeah, her husband, and we all knew one another. Yes.
yep.
Yeah.
And then Sandra, my friend Sandra over there in, on the West Coast, she just lost her husband. It's
Okay.
only been about maybe not even a month, maybe a month and a half or something for her. And she's saying congratulations to
Thank
you
you.
all and
Yeah.
just true love. And so just I wanted to read that those comments from when you're going through and in your own situation, but yet you can still praise and adore and love on other people. That's
Yes.
when the healing begins and the
Yes.
process of that
Yeah.
starts. So I
Yeah.
want y'all to
And you
share
don't have to
something.
leave it behind. You don't have to leave it behind.
Mhm.
You know, allow the other one to still talk about their spouse, you know,
Mhm.
to say, I remember one day I was cooking and he said, Barbara used to cook neck bones just like that. I said, oh, wow, good. I hope they taste as good. I know, you know, I hope they're good, you know. And so, you know, we say different things to each other. And sometimes you don't even realize you said it, you know,
Right.
that you
Wow.
made that connection because he'll do something that'll remind me of something, you know, and I'll just say it and he just goes on, you know, it's life. It's life.
Bro, TB, you said something in the beginning. You said you could not be married, or what was that? Say that again for my brother. You said something about being in leadership and
Well,
um
like I told Linda, I said, I feel like uh, in order to do the things that I needed to do, and this is the conversation that I had with Richard and Shirley at the time that we were sitting down. One of the things that I wanted to do at church, because we have so many visitors coming in and coming in and coming in, and we never get to know them. And so I told, while we were sitting down at dinner, I said, well, one of the things that I want to do is get to know the visitors who coming in. But I have to have a wife because one time I was doing personal evangelism in Boston, and Barbara, I took the family to Jamaica, and there was one person I was doing personal evangelism with. I told Brother Barclay, I said, "Well, you continue to do personal evangelism while I'm gone?" And so he said, "Yeah." So the young lady came, and he was doing personal evangelism with her, and he said to me, he said, she wasn't looking for personal evangelism. She was looking for you. And I said, what? He said, she's interested in you. And from that day on, I made sure that I did not do any personal evangelism by myself, that I would do it with a couple. And so that was the reason when I spoke to them that I told them I need a wife in order to do the things that I want to do for the church.
That's
Wow.
wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's Theotus Butler now. Don't forget that.
I think I told you the story that I was at the restaurant. I was at the restaurant one time, just sitting down by myself, having this was probably about 7 or 8 o'clock, sitting down having dinner, you know. And I was sitting there. This young lady just came to the table and asked me, "Do I mind that she sit at my table?" And the first thing I thought about, she's young. What if my church member walks in and see me?
That's right.
And so I knew that I need a wife.
That's right.
Thank God.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not going to make it in heaven by myself. And from that day on, I kept my ring on. Yeah, I put my ring back on after that happened.
Wow.
And I did not
That's-
take it off until I went to the lectureship.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Trying to be wholesome and remain without blame, and you ain't gonna give no room or no leeway. Say you saw me. That's commendable.
Yeah.
That's commendable.
And you know, and I felt the same way. And I didn't, after Jerry died, I didn't want people to say, "Oh, Sister Adams is so desperate, she's looking for a man." You know, and so I was very careful how I conducted myself, you know, and how I carried myself. And I even was told that some people said, "Oh, she's not approachable. You know, she has a look about her. If you're not coming right, don't come at all." Now that was
She
true.
is
That one's true.
Yeah,
That was true.
I am not bougie. He calls me bougie, and I'm not bougie. This right here is bougie, but I'm not bougie. But I did. Was truly by me. Don't waste my time, and if you're not coming at me right, don't come at all. You know, Theo and I were in a long distance relationship, and so once we committed that we wanted to be in a relationship, he would fly me here to Loganville once a month. And I would stay in his home, but he knew we had rules. I slept upstairs and he slept downstairs. And that was one of the things that showed me that he knew, he honored me and respect me for that. And that helped me to realize he was the man for me. Whatever rules or whatever I said I wanted the relationship to look like, he did that. Because my thing was, you're not gonna me, and then I go to a lectureship and there you are walking with another woman and looking at me like you got my name. Oh no, So we're gonna keep this the way it should be. You know, the two will not get together until we get married. And he honored that.
Wow.
And that just said he respected me, you know, for who I was.
Wow. A lot of pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was great. It was fun. He always had the weekend planned for us to go somewhere and do. He loves to shop. Oh yeah, this one right here. He loves to shop and he loves to go to nice restaurants. So he always had something planned when I would come. Yeah.
I love it. So y'all give us somebody go first.
I took her to this restaurant, Stony River.
Yeah.
And that's where she proposed to me at.
Oh. He just quit. I'll show you the picture where he's boo-hoo crying.
We know her, but you ain't gonna be able to get that over on us, because we know who we about.
It was so sweet. We go out to eat, and we're on our way to the restaurant. And he says, babe, I got something to tell you. And I said, what? He said, we already knew we were getting married, but he said, I had your ring and it didn't come in, and I wanted to give you your ring tonight because it was my birthday. And I said, my ring didn't come in. And he said, your ring didn't come in, and I'm so sorry. And I'm going to fly to Orlando when it comes and bring the ring and everything, because he wanted me to have the ring. So we get to the restaurant, we're having dinner and everything. And so the guy, the waiter comes over and he brings me a piece of cake. And I thought, I didn't order any cake. And so I'm sitting there, then another waitress comes over and she gives me an envelope. So I'm thinking the envelope is saying happy birthday, because they had bought me a piece of cake. I said, oh, he told them it was my birthday. So I take the envelope and I set it to the side, and he goes, open the envelope. I said, oh, it's probably a birthday card. He said, open the envelope. So I said, oh, okay. So I get the envelope and I open the envelope and it says, will you marry me? And by then a waitress is coming with my ring. And I thought, oh my God, he said that in there. And people in the restaurant are clapping and cheering and everything. He and I are boo-hoo crying. You know, he always loves to surprise me. That's his thing. He always wants to surprise me. So it was so sweet. It was so sweet. Yes.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
It was so sweet. He's always surprising me with something.
So go ahead and give our viewers, give the widows some hope. Brother TP, say something to the men, say something to the women. I don't know. Just leave them with some kind of hope. What would you say?
The thing that I would say to them is that always put God first. And if you put God first, God will always take care of you. So you have to be patient. Let God know. I mean, be specific, exactly what you want, and pray about it. But you have to wait on it. You know, you just can't pray and then you're gonna do whatever you want to do. You have to be patient and wait on God.
And I would say to the ladies, definitely pray about it, but also know what you want. Just don't take anything because you just want to get remarried again. I knew what I wanted in a man.
And she wanted me. Go ahead.
He said resume.
Oh my God.
You too much.
Oh my God. Ask God for what you want, and this may sound, I don't know how this is going to come out, but I'm going to say it. I was married to a wonderful man. I was married. My first marriage was with a man that loved the Lord. And there's a difference between someone that loves the Lord and someone sitting on the pew. I'm sure.
Amen. Amen.
I was married to a man that loved and would take care of his family. And all of that meant a lot to me. And I didn't date necessarily, but I would talk to different people. And I would find out right off bat that they didn't prepare themselves for the future. You know, at our age, you know, you have a retirement plan, you have, you know, this, you know, things in place. And I was just shocked that some people, men, had not prepared themselves for that.
Wow.
I was also shocked with the couple people I spoke with that they didn't appreciate a older Christian woman. They act
Mm.
like they were 30 years old.
Mm.
You know, that shocked me so badly that they wanted to act like they were 30 years old, wanted you to do whatever they wanted you to do and thought nothing about it. And I
Mm.
thought, oh, you got the wrong girl. You
Mm.
know, that's not me. And so I was shocked by those things. And so I just said, you know what, God, I may never get married again. And if
Mm.
I don't, I will accept that and go on with my life. You have another road for me.
Right.
And so it was like I had become very content with being by myself
Mm.
and thinking I was going to be this way until death. And then to go to a lectureship, not thinking about anything, and get introduced to them.
Yeah. Look at
Yeah.
God. Hmm.
Yeah. I say God works in mysterious
But God,
ways.
Hmm.
Yes.
but God.
He honestly
Wow.
does. Yeah. Yeah.
I am so grateful for you two coming on and closing out the
Yeah.
Widow series with such a beautiful love story of hope. I
Yeah.
am thankful for you taking your time out. I'm so thankful that God has softened both of your hearts to
Yeah.
know that there was, like, you trusted him. Like you
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
you had given up.
Yeah.
Brother Theo knew he needed to be, but you had given up. And so I'm just so thankful. Y'all seem like y'all just love and adore each other.
I
And
do.
I'm
I
so
do.
happy for y'all. Y'all go back and y'all read the chat. There's a lot of people just
Yeah.
saying they just love this. They're thankful for y'all sharing, being
Mhm.
open, and y'all go read the chat and just
Okay.
wondering when you're feeling. And Becky said something about this her favorite couple, the Butlers and stuff. I'm trying to get Becky and Will on. They crazy. I'm trying to get them on too. But yeah, so
Yes.
y'all, we love y'all. We thank y'all so much. Fred,
Yeah,
you got
we
We
love
anything?
thank you
y'all
very much.
Yeah.
too. We
Thank you.
go
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
back.
Likewise.
Yeah.
TB, I mean, I don't have words for it. I mean, in my media vocabulary to, express my, gratitude towards you, man. But all I can see is that lady sitting beside you. She got a smile on her face, and
Yes.
it's
Yes.
disheartening. I mean,
Yes.
y'all in love. Y'all can't make this up.
Yeah, she gonna have a good smile after we close this. So
Wow.
Can y'all end this segment? He's getting worse as the segment goes.
No, like you say, hopefully this goes viral. It'll be because of TB.
He said that he let you tell all the story. He let you tell all the story. And he jump in. She ain't
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
getting
she
worse
really
as
like
time
that.
goes
He
on.
said,
It's time. Yeah, it's time to cut him off
"We love y'all. We gonna have the retreat. We want y'all to come. Y'all have to come and represent for the widow and widower who found love again."
now.
One more
Okay.
thing before we go, Sister Gilliam, she said when we went to see her in the hospital
Mm-hmm.
a couple of weeks ago, me and
Yeah.
Shauna, and I told her I was about to get on the phone and call you for her, right? And she
Uh-huh.
said, "Oh," she said, Linda, Linda, that's my girl. That's my girl. She done got married. She done got married him." And so she said that she came to you for because at the ladies' retreat, she wanted you to do a session for the widows, to
Uh-huh.
speak to the
Uh-huh.
widows. And
Uh-huh.
she said she called you to ask you about, taking on that work, that assignment to speak for the widows. And you was like, "I'm about to get married." Like, I'm not your man. I'm not your man for this job. I'm
And
about to
she
get
came to
married.
the wedding. She
Oh wow.
flew in and she was at our wedding. That I
Hmm.
thought that was so. Sister Gilliam and I bonded when our husbands passed away. Her husband passed away first, and we had that in common. And we would often get together or call each other and talk about how we were doing, you know, what we were going through, the challenges we, you know, were going to, because we missed our spouses so much. And so she and I, we have that bond. And so I love her dearly. I love her
Yes.
dearly. Yes.
Well, we love y'all too. We wish we could stay on all night,
Yeah.
but we gonna we gonna have our own personal time with y'all, because y'all crazy. Oh, we just love the Butlers. We look forward to having y'all at the retreat whenever we get that going. We got you. So y'all say yes right now before all the
We
people
will. Loris
Oh.
will. We will do it. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
We love y'all. Fred, you got anything else?
No, TB said it all.
Yes. TV said it all.
TB said it all. He put a lot of pressure on the brothers, TB. But I love it. I love
Yes.
it. Love it.
Thank you. Thank you. We love y'all. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for being
You're
on.
welcome. When we come to Atlanta, we'll see y'all.
Okay.
Take care. We love y'all. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.